What is up, everyone? This is Prophet. I'm coming to you today with another technique video. Now, if you remember from the last one, and I will have the link at the end of the video and also possibly in the description, more than likely in the end of the video. But if you remember from the last technique video, it was more about rushing and using your attack helicopter and Overwatch to maintain pressure on everyone. But it was basically focused on standard game modes, your 6v6. And I did go back, and I remember I had mentioned in the video that it may or may not work in Ground War or some of the bigger game types. I tried it out, and although it is doable, the failure to success ratio is a lot higher. I found that there's a lot more lobbies where people are prepared and almost expecting to shoot down air support, so they will run stingers, javelins, what have you, in order to keep air support out of the sky, which is understandable. Being that there's so many people, the likelihood that you find someone who's actually prepared is higher. So this technique is specifically geared toward people who like playing Ground War, or people who have a lot of teammates or a lot of friends online and play Ground War. As you can tell from this video, we had 7 people total, including myself. The majority of those guys were from the clan, and then I had, of course, Steve and Alex, who usually play at random times with me. So what this technique, what I'm going to call it, is the Sparta technique, or the 300 technique. It's basically having certain members of your team run the Juggernaut kill streak, and more specifically run the support Juggernaut, because although people will argue with this fact, with me, if you run the assault kill streak, you will get a Juggernaut with a machine gun. That's why it's the assault one, because it's actually meant to cause damage. If you get the support Juggernaut, it will have a riot shield, because you're meant to be supporting the team, i.e. you don't really base it on what kills you're getting, but how you can help out the team, that's why you get a lot of crowd control assist points, if you will. But anyways, this is basically about having a few guys get the Juggernaut kill streak for support and walling us in. And in the sense that I mean like that is, you want to act like almost like a plow, and you want to sweep across the map and have your riot shields in front of you, and basically have everyone else stand up and squat down and be moving behind the riot shields in a way to kill the enemy team the enemy that you're coming across. And the reason I say that you want to have at least 3 people running it, because that way, if someone were to come and try to flank around behind you, there's enough, you'll still have a good buffer of people to where 2 people could stay up front, 1 can come around back, and you can kind of rotate the whole circle, if you get what I'm saying. It's almost like moving the turtle shell in order to protect yourself constantly from every angle. And even if you kind of get in like a diamond or a triangle pattern, put a Juggernaut in each corner, if you can imagine that, you will actually, that guy got turned on so bad, but you will actually create a wall of defense strong enough to where you can hold, I'd say at the most, 3 people, 4 people safe while you're still being surrounded. But this is basically what it is. It's going around, and this works, like I said, in kill confirm and domination. TDM doesn't work so much because, it's, as you would imagine, killing people and getting to the kill streaks is the bulk of the work. So if you were doing this in TDM, you'd just be winning the game for yourself quicker, being that this is kill confirmed. Once we got to about 50 confirmed, we all made a conscious decision to stop confirming kills, not denying kills. We still kept denying kills as much as possible to extend the game. But once we got to around 50, we started backing off on confirming the kills in order to have everyone get their kill streaks, specifically everyone who had the Juggernaut kill streak set up. So if you look here, there's a couple of us that are running around almost in a cannon fodder quote unquote type maneuver. But what we're actually doing is we are maintaining pressure on the team to keep them moving. You don't want them to be able to set up in their spawn, because that will be the worst thing that can happen, because then that way they can counteract the entire point of it, which is keep them moving so they're off balance. And as you see there, a few guys start getting their Juggernauts, so that's when the plan starts getting into motion. What they're going to do is, as they start getting them, they're going to start hanging back. And the reason they start hanging back is because one Juggernaut alone, while powerful, doesn't really help the whole team because there's so many of us. So we need those three people, all three Juggernauts, to be ready. So if you could see there, that Juggernaut was just kind of hanging back, waiting for everyone else to get their stuff or get their Juggernaut ready. So when the time actually came, he would not have any damage taken. He'd be ready to take on the whole team. So now is, I believe now is when everyone starts calling out that they've gotten their kill streak and they're just waiting to call it in. So this is when we actually start pushing really heavy on them to maintain a spawn location so the guys could call in their Juggernauts safely and not be worried about getting killed from behind, and also not getting the not having the enemy team pick up our Juggernauts, because once again that would also really destroy the whole plan. But right now, as you can tell, we're just kind of keeping pressure on them. Guys are calling in their kill streaks, getting their Juggernauts ready, and at this point everyone else is just kind of getting UAVs and getting some other lethal kill streaks set up just in case. But for the most part, it's just getting UAVs, advanced UAVs and such counters in order to paint the map in its entirety and use the Juggernauts when we get them to help in making a line, if you will, or drawing out the perfect picture of how we're going to do this. And we all start hanging back because they called it out. All three guys got their Juggernauts, and this is actually when the fun starts. And if you notice there, you actually have to be careful because we noticed that these guys started to flank around once we started calling in the Juggernauts. They started to try to flank around and get us, or kill the Juggernauts quick. So I had to, me and a couple other guys, we had to actually come around and maintain pressure on the guys. The other thing that you have to, that I recommend you have a full team. We had 7 of us total and then 2 randoms. The reason we were kind of getting freaked out was because we're not confirming kills, but yet we were still gaining tons of score. And actually, we later found out that all the green guys, or the two green guys were actually the ones confirming all the kills we were getting, which wasn't helping the situation. But as you can see here, this is the situation that, or this is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Red's kind of leading the charge, and when he can't do anything or when he sees that it's clear, he just kind of backs off and lets us take over. And we're just kind of really almost milking the situation. And I do feel bad for doing that, but normally people would leave, so these guys were actually pretty good sports about it, and they didn't leave. In this situation, me and Red were actually talking to each other because I had killed so many people around us that I had kind of walled both of us in with tags, and we're like, oh well, we don't want to collect any tags, but there's nothing we can do. We have to try to push out somewhere. So the actual tags started disappearing. Some was because a couple of the green guys and a couple of our guys started picking up tags. Some of the guys from the clan started picking up tags, but also because some of these guys were actually spawning in so quick. And that was actually somewhat of the reason that it actually helped us, in the sense of we weren't getting the green guys to collect all the tags because a lot of them were disappearing. One important thing that you also have to remember is you gotta maintain the Juggernauts. If you notice, the Juggernauts kept moving back and forward, and we always had about 2 people on each Juggernaut, just in case they were getting pressure from someone trying to kill them, where I just died at, and Steve kind of picked up that last kill. But that's one thing you have to maintain, is a conscious level of, are our Jugs okay? Are they going to survive? And also the Juggernaut has to maintain that also mindset of keeping, or self-preservation. That's pretty much it. I will see you guys online, and you all take it easy. Peace.